Welcome back, everybody, to R2G2 Movie Reviews. I'm Sam McLennan.
I'm Ainsley McLaren.
There we go. And behind us we got, oh my god, what?
Oh my god!
It's dudes. Terrifying. There's a ghost in the back for a good reason, because today we are reviewing Ghostbusters, a new reboot starring Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, yeah.
Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon.
This is from the director of Bridesmaids and The Heat.
Very good movies.
Yeah, very funny movies.
Very funny.
This movie's gotten a lot of controversy, I guess, on the internet. People love to hate this movie, especially from the trailers. I don't know. Did you see the trailers, Ainsley?
I did, and you know what? I also, based off the trailers, I was not interested in seeing the movie.
Yeah.
No, I feel like the trailer really put a bad vibe on the whole.
Right.
On the whole movie.
Yeah. So let's see how the trailer and the movie kind of compare to each other. So, like, should we start with the ghost in the back?
Jesus, I'm getting swung around here. I can't see anything. Yeah, starting with it. Yeah, the hate was coming. I mean, when the movie was first announced, we kind of got the feeling that it was a lot of misogynists just hating on the movie because they were recasting the whole team with just girls. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you got to make it even. Even's not like 2 and 2 on this one. It's already 4-0 for the guys. You got to make it 4-0 for the girls, or 4-4 at this point, and then we can do some mixed teams. So, moving forward with that, we got the trailers, and then everyone started hating on it because it just wasn't funny. But going into the movie, that sets up for some low expectations, and that sets up to just be blown out of the water because it actually ends up being a really fun. A lot of humor in areas I didn't expect, i.e. Thor, and it kind of just takes you, it pulls you in. There's a lot of fun. The 3D just kind of escapes the widescreen setup with the 2 blocks on top, and it just kind of feels like it's actually coming off screen.
Okay, I felt like it was cool, the whole 3D thing they were doing, the black bars, things kind of overlaying.
I completely agree. I thought the 3D aspect made it amazing. I thought the ghosts were like really well designed and actually kind of creepy. And
the ghosts were cool.
Yes, and I feel like the 3D just amplified like the creepiness that the original one had. And I think it was awesome.
More colorful than the ghost we got in the back here. But yeah, no, initially I was going into it with low expectations as well. The trailers didn't exactly excite me. So I was just really hoping for a decent movie, and I think we got that. I think it's certainly better than what people think it's going to be. It's not terrible.
I know. I think that probably actually worked well in the movie's favor.
Right.
I think because everyone had such low expectations for it, because the trailer was garbage in my opinion. And so I think the fact that people were expecting to dislike it so much, and just the amount from expecting it to dislike it, and then enjoying it, just made people surprised with, oh my god, I actually really liked that.
Was there any standout performances or like jokes from the movie that you guys want to name? Like,
oh yeah, 100%. Kate McKinnon is a star. I really need her to like hook up with Judd Apatow and get the Amy Schumer Express going, because Amy Schumer got her Trainwreck movie last year, but like everyone who knew her from stand-up comedy knew she was amazing. Yeah. This year, like, if you've seen Kate McKinnon's Justin Bieber impersonation or anything like that on SNL, you know she's a funny girl and she gets people to crack up on that. She got nominated for an Emmy this year for Saturday Night Live, which is kind of unheard of, being it's not a show. It's a sketch comedy show, so the girl's got a lot of potential, and she definitely shows in this one. She kind of feels like she's improvising a lot, and she's getting people to crack up a lot. Yeah. Because she's so out there, and she's willing to put herself out there, and that's kind of what you need in a comedian. Someone who's going to express those bounds. So she definitely stepped up. She stole this show for me, as well as Hemsworth just... With my favorite line of, is it okay if I bring my cat in the office? And they're like, yeah, you have a cat? Yeah, you can bring it. Oh, but he's a dog. And they're like, what? What do you mean a dog? He's like, his name is Mike Hat. Like, like Michael Hat, and they're like, oh, and I was like, oh my god, and like the I don't like coffee thing, like they explore a lot of funny areas in this.
It was Hemsworth specifically, like he was super funny, but then it grew old for me, the whole like how dumb he is, because that was the only shtick though.
That's what I feel like. For me, it just got funnier as the movie progressed. It's like the things he was saying was just dumber and dumber. It was sorry. Ooh.
You'll hear a car horn there.
Yeah.
The whole fingers through the frames thing was pretty funny.
I know.
I really liked Leslie Jones. I thought she was hilarious. I was dying at some of her parts. Yeah, and I don't think I've ever seen her in SNL. Or she's from SNL, correct?
She's also on the show.
I haven't seen SNL in a while, so I have never seen her before. So I was happy that this movie wasn't just big names like Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig. Right.
And I know Kate McKinnon was on SNL as well, but I didn't actually, other than the Justin Bieber skit, I don't think I've seen her in a lot of other stuff.
Now, I did have a few problems with the movie. Only a couple, really. Like
I did as well.
One being, it was pretty predictable. Like there wasn't really anything too exciting about in terms of the story. And then number two, I felt like the cameos just didn't really land. Like there was a couple of them, and obviously a lot of recognizable people if you've seen the original Ghostbusters. But
wait, what cameos were there?
Yeah, so in the beginning, when Tywin Lannister or Charles Dance leaves the room, there's a Rick Moranis one. He's a bronze statue in the background. Because if you know Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, or he was the Keymaster, I believe, in the original one.
Right. He
has left just Hollywood in general to take care of his kids. So he wasn't coming back for this movie. He's not coming back for Ant-Man like he was wanted to. So he was in there, and we saw like Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver.
Bill Murray was in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that got thrown out the window.
Yeah, the guy that died.
Spoilers. Spoilers from the ghost side.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, come on, ghost. Hey, come on.
Okay, and there was the original desk person.
Oh yeah.
What's her name? Annie Potts, I believe.
She was the hotel.
She was the hotel concierge or whatever. So they did sandwich everyone in. There's an apparent Harold Ramis. He passed away recently, but he's the original writer. I believe he wrote this one with Dan Aykroyd too. And he's like one of the beloved comedians. Or comedic writers too, but he was apparently a ghost at one point that showed up, but I didn't catch that. I didn't know that was a thing. So we'll have to go back and see her if anyone can actually confirm that. But.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, is there anything that stood out to you that good, bad?
There was, but hold on. I have to like check out my list.
Sure.
I mean, the worst part for me that made this movie like literally why I'm a ghost, because I died because it was so bad, was the editing. There was awful continuity editing in this movie.
Some pacing issues.
Yeah, there was like pacing issues. Like it would cut when a guy was walking in a door and he'd be all of a sudden mid-conversation with them.
Right.
And like some parts, like they take off they like start to shift their glasses, and the next cut their glasses are gone. There's about like a good couple handfuls of them that I picked up, and it was really hard to watch. I was like, come on guys, you were paid like over $100 million to make this movie.
Yeah.
You can make some decent edits. That was the big one for me, at least, that stood out.
See, I think my biggest flaw that I can see with the movie was going back, it was the trailer. I mean, what really bothered me was that at the beginning of the trailer, it says 20 years ago, 4 scientists saved New York City. So I thought, and for the trailer purposes, it did a good job in making you think, oh, what's it gonna be? And then you realizing after the Ghostbusters played that it's the theme song, it's Ghostbusters reboot, you got excited. But because they put that into the trailer, I thought they would somehow make an appearance in the movie.
Right.
Whether it be, I thought the new cast would be the daughters or children.
Okay, yeah.
Or like they would be scientists that the 4 of them really admired. Or like somehow making it into the movie, and they weren't mentioned at all, if I'm correct.
No, you're right. I'm pretty sure, the previous Ghostbusters aren't in this universe. It's like a complete reboot.
See?
And you're right, like it was confusing. I wasn't sure if this was like a continuation or a reboot or...
And like I was kind of distracted throughout the movie waiting for them to show up or be mentioned or like have an actual cameo, being like, oh my god, is that the guy from 20 years ago who saved New York City? And it never came.
No.
So, That was my, I think, major.
That was the bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bummer. Agreed.
Okay, so overall, what do we think? Like, should they go see this movie? Like, how soon? The best format, that sort of thing. Like, what can we tell them coming away from this?
I would say, if you are a Ghostbusters fan, definitely check it out. It's not going to disappoint you. They make a lot of homages and references and pay a lot of tribute to the original, so I think you'll be satisfied in that sense. I can't say, like, if you're a huge comedy fan, like, if it's not going to blow you out of the water. It's not like the funniest movie you'll see, but
I mean, I think what was really nice too is that I think I saw the original, like, honestly 10 years ago. I don't remember a thing about it.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so coming into it, not comparing it to the old movie, I enjoyed it. But I think if you go in constantly comparing the old, which most people love, versus this new one, I mean, it seems to me that's where a lot of the criticism is coming from, is comparing it. So go in with, like, no expectations, I guess.
Go in with an open mind. I would say ignore the trailers and then just go watch it.
Yeah, don't actually watch the trailers at all for it.
Exactly. Ghosty. Ghosty McGhost.
Trailers are a bit of a buzzkill. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to the first movie. If you do compare it to something, compare it to the second movie, because the story is actually a little bit similar. There's a guy trying to bring, like, a portal of ghosts through with the painting, and this one's probably better than the second movie. I would give it that. And
wow.
So and, like,
right.
There's a lot of comedy coming through. Like, they're throwing jokes at you every 30 seconds.
They are.
Some are gonna hit, some aren't, as always. But there are some laughs in it. The action's good. I thought there was some good pacing with the action, and, like, I kind of wanted more of just them kind of bombing around town, just catching ghosts.
Same.
It was fun.
See, what else I kind of liked was that you saw them transform into the Ghostbusters. I mean, they weren't just a team right off the bat as the movie begins. You see them kind of recruiting each other, asking to be part of the team, and, like, make, like, them getting their space, them getting a vehicle, and I loved that. But at the same time, I also wish I got to see them, like, kick some ghost ass some more.
This is you.
Hi.
So, you just got out of Ghostbusters.
I did.
Yeah. How do we feel about it? Now, I think a lot of us are expecting a certain reaction from you, so
Alright.
Play with that as you will.
So, man, I didn't want to do this on this video, but I was pleasantly surprised!
Hey!
Okay, if you're a long-time listener to the podcast, you know that I was hard on this movie, and you know what? I blame that entirely on the Sony marketing team.
Yeah.
Like, they need to hire all the interns who ran Deadpool, because I think arguably that's the best marketing, probably for a movie in the last decade.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So, I saw this movie, old-fashioned style. I went to the drive-in for this film.
Wow.
I did a twofer.
There you go.
And stay tuned for what the second movie was on the Galaxy Quest podcast on Podcast Garden. But, so I was nervous. I think probably the most hard on the trailers for this. But you know what? If I was 10 years old and this was the Ghostbusters movie I saw, I would love the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. One, I think the cast, even given the fact that I dislike these actresses, just for their comedic style, that has nothing against them as human beings or whatever. I'm not even gonna touch the fact that it's a team of all women, because who cares? Like, you get the best cast together, fine. Like, you do that. So, I have to say that I thought their chemistry was all great. There were some duds in terms of jokes, but that's to be expected.
Right.
But there were a lot of funny moments, and I'm glad that they weren't spoiled in the trailers, so credit for not putting the best jokes. But I have to say, the best line in the entire movie, and I'm not being sexist, comes from Chris Hemsworth, where he says, "Hey, do you know that aquariums are like submarines for fish?" Like, full on spit out my food. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And from a plot point of view, I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that, I'm talking a lot with my hands and I apologize, that this movie is its own thing, but there is some remakes, but I would say, like, remake qualities of the film, but it's more of an homage than it is a point-to-point remake, which is the best thing possible, because I think given how much scrutiny this film faced, probably the most scrutiny a movie's faced in a long time. Maybe only second
So like Force Awakens
or
or
Batman
something.
v Superman. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But I would say that this had the most just on the overall change of it. I think stylistically, I thoroughly enjoyed Paul Feig's cinematography style that he put in this, and I've apologized ahead of time because I forgot who the cinematographer was. But I thought there was a lot of very great spooky elements in the film.
There was. I was surprised
Some
about that.
legitimately scary moments, and the action was something that I was very impressed by. Particularly, and I think everybody's going to be talking about it, is Kate McKinnon's scene where she essentially goes beast mode and wipes out like a hefty portion when they're in Times Square.
Yeah.
You just got Holtzman, baby.
Yeah.
Oh!
I thought that action beat was absolutely brilliant, but at the same time, it's unfortunate because it doesn't take enough risks. I don't think. But
So, overall, and with a score at the end,
yes,
how do we feel about Ghostbusters?
I think, given the scrutiny the movie faced and how it was able to overcome that, if you're a fan of Ghostbusters in general, or just like ensemble comedies, this is a see in the theater. I think visually, it is a big screen movie, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it sits in, if we're giving them numbers, probably like a 7.5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, you heard it here, folks. Kyle enjoyed the movie.
I did. I almost went to see it with you when you went on Sunday, but it was past my bedtime.
Right. Well, that's amazing, man. I'm glad we all enjoyed it. We all gave it a solid rating. So there you go. Ghostbusters. Check it out. Don't look behind you, Kyle.
Are you afraid of me?
Ah!
What just happened?
I don't know. Well, that'll about wrap it up, guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There's a lot more to come. Next week we got Star Trek Beyond happening for you.
Which is getting really good early reviews.
It definitely
That's
is.
really
So I'm excited. And if you want to hear our longer versions of these movie reviews, check out the Galaxy Quest podcast, which you can listen on iTunes or Podcast Garden.
It's not family friendly.
And there's spoilers, so be aware of these things. Okay. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll check you later.